Hello everyone, it's been a while. Welcome back. Sit back and relax because we've got some pretty exciting videos coming up on this thing. In this episode we are doing some little bit of preparation for the MOT, which is happening on Monday. So we're hoping that all goes well, and then after that this car is getting the power it deserves. We already have in our possession a Supercharger kit, and coming up you will see how to supercharge 2.2 Vauxhall Astra G. So sit back and relax. For that we're going to do a little bit of a prep on the parts. We've got some parts to show you, everything you're going to need. So yeah, should be some good fun videos, and then of course after that, once we've got it supercharged, we can go and do things like track days. We've got a car show coming up locally that we're going to go and take the car to. So yeah, exciting stuff, and I know it's been a while, but I hope these videos will make up for it, and we're going to have some fun making this thing go, and it's going to sound amazing, trust me. So we're going to do some driving videos, drive-by videos, all that good stuff. So if you know this car and you're excited to see the potential it's got, then stick around. The next few episodes are going to be pretty special. So enjoy, check it out.
So those of you that remember, there was a bolt here in the back that was well and truly rounded out. So we've managed to grind some flats on there, and with a spanner and a hammer managed to just tap it all the way around. Took a while, but it's eventually out, and we have a new bracket, well, a second-hand one from the scrapyard with a nice clean bolt to put back in there. So that was a bit of a pain in the bum, but finally done and dusted. So we can carry on. The plan is this week that we're getting ready for the MOT. So once I get the seat belts back in and the chairs back in here, then we carry on putting the carpets back in. The center console can go back in, glove box back in, connect the chairs back up to the airbags, and hopefully we'll be all good, ready for the MOT. So there you go. Hi everyone. So I don't know if I've already showed you yet, but the interior is back in the car, which means that we've got the seats back in and the seats are reconnected. I was hoping that would clear the airbag light down here, but so far it hasn't. Whenever I start the car, the airbag light goes off, but then fairly quickly comes back on again. So we fired up the laptop with the Opcom software on it, connected into the OBD port, and we are looking to try and work out if there are any airbag warnings. So it always says the files can't be loaded for some reason for me, but when I click on it, then it starts up the interface, and eventually we are able to look at the fault codes. Unfortunately though, the fault codes are very generic. I don't really know what that means. Unknown DTC, 2 of them. There were 4 and I cleared 4, and again they keep coming back. So I think I'm just gonna have to have a look around for any loose cables and things, and then maybe have a little Google search, and then I'll let you know if I find anything. So that was interesting. So we had those 2 error codes and I couldn't work out what they were. It didn't give us any information what they were. So I thought what I'll do is I'll disconnect the driver's side seat and see if I get any new errors. And actually when I disconnected it, I got 1 less error code. So I went and did the other one, unplugged the passenger, all the while, you know, disconnecting the battery, everything. And now let's have a look. So now the airbag light stays off. So I think what we've got is a car that wasn't expecting side airbags on the seats, and someone's retrofitted the seat. So yeah, interesting one, that one, but I'm glad it's cleared for the MOT on Monday, so that's all good.
So as with any MOT that I do for any car, making sure it's well presented. We're getting rid of all the storage dust that collected. So this was a little snow foam, and then a rinse off, and then a chamois leather over that, and all should be good. Hopefully it's going to get a proper wash later on, a nice detail and a machine polish, so we'll show you that at some point as well. So it's no secret now, obviously I've probably shown you in the thumbnail by now what's going on in this video. Here's a collection of parts that were waiting for me when I got back for the Supercharger edition. So we got two inlet gaskets. I got two different manufacturers. I didn't know which one was going to be metal. It looks like this one has got the metal as part of the gasket, so I might just get another one of those. We do need two because there's a thermal layer between the manifold and the supercharger, well, the block of the engine and the supercharger, so you get two gaskets that you need. This one's a gasket between the supercharger and the actual inlet manifold itself. Got some supercharger oil just to service the charger, a brand new air filter to go on the end, and some bits and bobs, some silicone pipe. We do need a different sized auxiliary belt pulley, so I've got two sizes there, just in case one is a bit too short or whatever. Some laser platinum spark plugs, which I believe are the ones to get, so we'll pop them in. This is a load of that split conduit to do all the wiring looms. They're already done, I just want to refresh the outside of the looms. And then just a bit of a bolt kit from Courtney Sport, just in case we need any of that. So these are the base, you know, some of the stuff I've been collecting, and obviously I'll get the other parts, the main parts, when we get them in front of us. We'll have a look at those too. Okay, so in another section I will have shown you some various new parts for the Supercharger edition that I've purchased, and these are the used parts that we've got gathered, taken off car to build up the rest. So this is kind of the other half of the equation, and I'm just going to run you through kind of quickly what all the bits and pieces are doing. We'll come back to the nice obvious things like Supercharger in a minute, but starting with some of the more necessary but not as obvious things. So we'll be using these are VXR injectors, I think, or Z-let injectors maybe, delivering slightly more fuel. So those obviously come with this rail. I think there's some adapters on that rail just to space it up a little bit. The fuel pump relay, the fuel pump itself is uprated, so we've got an uprated fuel pump ready in there to drop in. So that's your fuel delivery considerations. Then when the Supercharger is running, it needs to be cooled. There are some coolant ports on the Supercharger, and we'll talk about that in a second. So there's another radiator that flows water around that system, and an auxiliary pump that drives it, and a little relay that drives the pump when the engine's running. There's a coolant bottle up there, which just a coolant bottle and pipe work, which obviously feeds the radiator, keeps it topped up. So that's that. There's a bracket here which not only supports the heavier inlet manifold of the Supercharger, but also holds the pump in there. There's various bits of breather pipes. So this one connects to the Supercharger itself and feeds a servo brake system. And then there's another one which taps off the bottom of the Supercharger to do like the emissions control. There's like an emissions valve. So we've got that off as well. So as part of, I'll show you this up here, as part of the build, you will generally move the ECU and fit a smaller, smaller battery. So the ECU move means an adapted ECU loom and engine wiring system, or engine loom, sorry. We've got different plugs for the injectors because they're different to the standard 2.2. So this loom we'll be just, recovering. I've got some split conduit to go over it and just giving it a little bit of a tidy. So we've got that to do. So moving across now to some of the bigger, more obvious things. So the supercharger sits on top of this. There is a gasket. We've got a new gasket, but there's a gasket that sits obviously between that and the supercharger itself. So yeah, that's the obvious thing. Supercharger bolts onto the top of here. We've got the air filter we'll tap on there, so we've got the new filter to go on. This item gives you a bit of a path around the belt from the top of the engine to the radiator top, the standard radiator I'm talking about. So that's there to clear the belt, and then the idler pulley here works in conjunction with the bolting to the alternator, so that will give us a run for the auxiliary belt. And then the alternator itself is slightly modified. There are some posts shaved down and the plastic cover is removed. That allows you space because it's very tight against the side here of the inlet where the alternator sits, very close to here. And then almost finally, the inlet to engine block has a thermal plate to keep the heat away from the supercharger. So there's that, and there's two gaskets. Again, I need to check what I've bought is of similar quality. These are all metal by the look of it. They may be reusable, so we'll have a see what we think about that. So there, all in all, so combined with the other parts that we've bought and these that we've got second hand, we have everything we need to supercharge the red Astra. So we're going to get the car MOT'd tomorrow. I might give you a little video of when we do that. But if not, then the next video that you'll see from me will be post MOT, and we might be doing a bit of tidying up on this, give some things a little lick of paint, make them look nice, and then we should be in a position to start bolting things up. I'm gonna locate this ahead of time so this can go. There's quite a bit of room behind the standard bumper now that we haven't got the aircon radiator there. Just need to make up something that will take these brackets. That's actually the front there. That'll be the front of the radiator. So we need something that will come along and pick up those across the top really. So I'm going to need to make something up for that. I am going to get obviously red pipes instead of blue, wherever you see a blue pipe here. So we're going to get these replaced. But yeah, that's all the stuff that we've been needing. And hopefully a bolt on basically 120 horsepower for more of this stuff. So it should be fun. So stick around and we'll show you how that goes too. Alright, cheers for now.